Ahoy, hoy, and hachi machi, Delco. We have a splendiferous episode for you tonight. We've got Rob from Visit Delco with us. Visit Delco is essentially the tourist bureau of Delaware County.
That's correct.
Is that the correct concept?
Good way to put it, yeah.
Okay. And Rob, where are you from, Delco?
I've lived in Delco now for 26 years.
Okay.
You're from Delco.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Official.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Where are you originally from?
Originally from Pennsauken, New Jersey.
Oh, that's basically just Delco.
It is, right.
Good for you. That's right over the bridge from that's like in the Glassboro area, right?
Nah, it's more like Betsy Ross Bridge will take you right over to Pennsauken.
Oh, north.
Yeah.
North. Okay.
Northeast Philly.
It's a nice area, correct?
It was a nice place to grow up.
Where are you at in Delco now?
I live in Wallingford.
Is it nicer than Wallingford?
No.
Nah, Wallingford's got some nice parts. What's the ghetto in Wallingford called? Is it Garden City? Is that the name of it?
Any place Holbrook walks.
You go down, so you go down Yale Avenue, like past Rio's Pharmacy and all that shit, and then you get to the like an old Comcast building.
Yeah, that's
Moore
Road.
Was it
Moore Road?
Moore Road. And then I swear, there's like this like Baghdad like Aladdin style Baghdad pops out of nowhere, like just like shacks on shacks on shacks, and you're just like, wow, this is still Wallingford.
I thought you wandered into Midgetville by accident.
The
way he was talking about it.
There's like chickens running around, like cars like overturned. It's literally like the Hurt Locker, like in the middle of
It's a fine part of town.
Oh, it's great. I used to play softball down there. Like in my 20s, it was great.
I forget that little park down there. My kids played there. Yeah.
Yeah, we would start there, and then we started playing at Strathaven. By the way, Strathaven, beautiful softball field.
The one that's right on Providence Road?
The one that has the gigantic hill in right field.
Yes,
I did fall down before.
I know what you mean.
Holbrook lives that hill and just like breaks into a cold sweat.
We were the worst fucking team. I would play on my like regular team during the morning, and like I was the backup designated hitter at best. Then we went there, and I was the shortstop.
Ooh,
we like got mercy.
Who got hurt?
Dude, we got mercy ruled like by the third inning every game, so we're back in the bar. It's great.
Yeah, shortstop in softball is a tough spot.
Oh my god,
it's terrifying. A lot of action.
I'm scared of the ball.
He was so happy when we moved out of because when we originally started this, we were out of my basement doing a studio down there, and he comes in for playing like catcher for like 3 straight games, and it took him like the small basement steps, nothing crazy. It took him like 12 minutes to come down. He had like a full blown conversation with me before he went from the top step down to the bottom step.
Dude, when you catch 21 innings in a morning in the heat, dude, your legs just like from the knees to the groin.
I think by the middle of the second game, I'd just be like I'd be sitting up holding my glove down.
Yeah, I don't know if I could catch 21 pitches.
Yeah, my knees would be screaming.
I'd be shot.
I stood up after every pitch, just to gun out runners that aren't running in slow pitch softball.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had no balance. Okay. Enough about my failures and poor physique. Rob from Pennsauken, you're in Wallingford now.
Mm-hmm.
Visit Delco. How long have you been there?
10 months.
10 months. Oh, you're a newbie.
Yeah.
So that's why. That's why they didn't answer forever, and now they send the new guy.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Listen, you gotta go deal with those knuckleheads.
Yeah.
This is how we swear you in.
Yeah, they told me, you'll be on a podcast. It'll be cool.
So
even though we had 7 chances, it's pretty cool. Like, yeah.
They didn't show you the podcast beforehand.
No,
not the shit you're gonna have to deal with.
Not even 10 seconds.
The fact that I'm on my third natty light.
He did hang out with us. We were able.
I did. Yes.
I
knew what I was in.
Yeah, we were guest bartending. Or no, I mean, we were doing the bartender competition over at the Streetlight Kitchen and Cafe at the Drexel Brooks. That was the first time we actually had interactions and worked with him. So he kind of knew what he was going up against.
I knew it was. Yeah, I know.
Super cool event. Super cool place.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really, that was one of, like, under the radar, one of my favorite Delco live like ventures we've ever been part of.
Yeah, that's a cool place.
It is, and it really. I mean, I'm just as criminal as everyone else of like not promoting it like we should. That is a really great place, man. They have a really diverse menu. That we're talking about the Streetlight Bar and Grill, which is part of Drexelbrook.
Mm-hmm.
They have a menu that's very much like Media Townhouse, a couple bucks cheaper. In what I think is
more
really
than a couple bucks cheaper. To be honest with you, I've seen that Townhouse menu. So
yeah,
probably a little bit more. It's a couple bucks cheaper, but. No, the food's great. It's a big place too. Like it's very deceiving if you've never been there. And when it's nice out, that patio is rocking.
Yeah, that patio is a great spot. And the other thing about it, no shortage of parking there. I mean, you can.
That's what I was gonna say. Is it's better than the Townhouse because you can park there.
Yeah.
media townhouse is basically like if you're not one of the first 6 people here, enjoy your ticket. Um, where were you working at before Visit Delco? Were you also a part of the hospitality tourism like group or anything? Or
So I was with the Phillies for 25 years.
what? Why didn't you tell us this?
I just did.
Have you met the Fanatic?
I have.
He's
Yes.
his best friend.
Yes.
He's great.
The Fanatic and I have had beers at 2SP together, actually.
There
My
you go.
lord,
Yeah,
are
right?
you the Fanatic?
I'm not. The
Okay.
Fanatic, no.
I know the guy's name who is, but I didn't know his first name was Rob. Okay, so and then you just decided to get out of the Phillies. Like,
Yeah, so I was
Brian Harper
on
didn't
the
have any money to keep you.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I was on the board at Visit Delco, and then we're 2026 is going to be a big year, obviously for us, for all the
Bicentennial and all that.
yeah, and the All-Star game and the PGA Championship at Aronimink.
Wait, is it really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Why the fuck
Yeah.
I'm cursing? Sorry. Why the fuck am I just hearing about this now?
yeah.
Yeah, where you
It's
been,
going to be
Jeff?
huge.
Aronimik, the one in like
Yeah, Newtown
Newtown Square?
Uh-huh.
I lived there.
Now I know
Like-
with the was it the Premier Soccer League that's coming to whatever it is. Is that because I know with
Wait, you're talking about FIFA? You're
FIFA,
about the
I
World
mean.
Cup?
No, we
Yeah,
got the
World
World
Cup,
Cup
I mean.
for
Is
limited.
is that going to be at Subaru Park or is it all in the city?
Link, bro?
No, so yeah, everything will be played in Philly, though the Subaru Park has a really good chance of being a training facility.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's a little complicated the way they do it, but there's a pretty good chance that one of the countries will settle in there and train there, and then they may or may not play all their games in Philly. They probably wouldn't play all their games in Philly, but maybe 1 or 2 games. But then they would make their way around the country. Once their matches are done, they would come back there, train for the next match.
Yeah.
So it's
The
Because-
finals.
Well, it only took FIFA for the Meadowlands to fix their turf.
fix the turf, dude.
Yeah.
there's some crazy adjustments that are being made. The Los Angeles place they're putting all kinds of money into because it didn't. They're gonna have matches there, but they weren't to spec.
They're
They
all.
got-
They also
Wait,
had
the new one where the
Yeah.
Rams and the
Yeah.
Chargers play? Wow,
Correct.
so
They're
far,
putting.
right?
Yeah, they're
and
making.
double down. They are hosting World Cup games in 2026. They also have the Olympics in 2028.
Oh wow!
So they
Okay,
got to
yeah.
get it really up to par for all that.
I mean, the Link's putting money into that building to
Well, the link's beautiful
do
and
it.
flawless, and I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean, Citizens Bank Park did it too.
It's flawless and beautiful, and I love it.
Wells Fargo did
It's
it.
beautiful and flawless, and I love it.
One problem I had about Wells Fargo with their update.
It's that they hired Electric Furby to play in a band.
Well, 2 problems.
and
Two
Carter
problems.
Hart got arrested that day.
Was that the same day?
It was his last game. He got pulled
Right
right after Electric Furby ended.
He was the lucky one.
I know.
Yeah. No, but they updated. So they have the whole way upstairs where they do the betting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have the upstairs. They have the Liberty. It's called the Liberty Lofts. They believe they refer to it as.
Okay.
So that's cool.
You can bet in the Wells Fargo Center.
Well, yeah, it's like they have like a. It's like they have like. It's like a Bet Rivers, I think, is
Yeah,
up there. or
it's
something.
Shohei Ohtani up there watching bet.
It's a branded lounge.
Yeah, the
You would-
branded lounge, but then they also have party lofts, like
Yeah.
where you can open up to bigger lofts. Like it's kind of like an open space thing, but they have like some dividers between them. I've been there for a few Christmas parties, so it's pretty cool. But I cannot go to the Wells Fargo for any Flyers or Sixers game and sit in the second bowl.
Mm.
They made the seats smaller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like even to the point that people who aren't as large as me and Holbrook,
As hefty as us.
it's tough to get in and out. Like I had to you heard like when I popped out of the seat, like I had to like
Really?
my hips were like, and I had to like snap. Like you went up to cheer and you were thrown back down in your seat. Like
I stopped bringing
Don't,
my cell phone in my pockets when I get in there because you could break it, man, sitting down.
yeah, I'm telling you, it's not like I was with people who we would probably consider average size. Not me big, not Holbrook.
Calorie appropriate
Yeah.
American.
Calorie appropriate American. And they were having top problems, like kind of popping out of their seat. I will never again sit at the Wells Fargo Center and not in the top. It's almost they don't want you in there. I feel like they don't want you in there.
Well, they make the steps so like you're basically going to die walking up all the steps, dude.
I thought you were going to say something about the view. I wouldn't even consider this.
No, the views are great.
No, the view's fine.
Yeah, I
it's
thought so
always
too.
been good
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
It's they made the seats smaller.
Al's complaint about the Wells Fargo Center is that he's fat.
Yeah,
His biggest grief is
I'm
that
being-
he has
I'm-
no control over
I'm
food.
being fat shamed by the Wells
Yeah.
Fargo second ball. No, but like it's true, they did make the Rose Bowl to add extra seating.
They did?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
It is because I asked them like, why do I feel thinner downstairs than I do upstairs? And they're like, And I'm a bit of a seat snob. I rarely sit up there, but my son wanted to take me and him out for like a Flyers game. I mean a Sixers game, and I'm sitting there. I'm trying to like. I got locked in. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm not moving for the next 2.5 hours. Like that's where I'm.
How about that? I never noticed that.
Yeah.
So I like standing in the back row, just standing in the aisle.
Well, at Bank Park, I mean, the seats are fine, but I do like sitting on that one, like right behind the last back row, the first level, like, in the shade.
I'm not giving away
the drink rail. The drink rails are a hot spot. Yeah.
I'll be there on Thursday for.
I don't know if I should say it on there, but I have a secret. I call it my secret section.
Really?
Yeah, I got a magic number 2. I'm not going to say it on the air.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to give it away.
Rob, how frowned upon as a former Philly employee? How frowned upon is it when people just go to the standing room area and enjoy the drink rail for maybe the entire game?
You know, it's not at all because I think they knew exactly what they were doing when they put that in. I mean, it's
been there since
20 years, right? Yeah. And
I've never been asked once to leave that area.
Yeah,
I love
no,
it. There's other ballparks that'd be like, "Shoo, poor person, get out of here."
No, because even if you consider when you walk around the concourse the entire way, there's nowhere where you lose sight of the field.
Yeah.
Right. It's all wide open. So that's they don't care if you stop and hang and watch.
It's a real great ballpark.
It is. No, it's great.
The worst ballpark I've ever been in is the Tampa Bay ballpark.
Oh
yeah,
it's absolute hot garbage.
Oh,
and it's funny because they hosted the Royal Rumble this year, Tampa Bay.
Yes, in that building.
Yeah,
Tropicana
Field, and I had sent one of my reporters down there to cover it, right? And he goes in there, he goes, "What's the Wi-Fi password for this?" Because like they didn't have any parts to plug in. He goes, "Oh,
welcome to Tampa," and they break your phone.
No, they said the Wi-Fi's down. He's like, "Well, how am I supposed to use nobody's phone works? Your phone does not work." In Tropicana Field,
it's a hockey arena.
No, it is that the dome's made out of like bars. It's like ridiculous.
It's a hockey arena. It was the Thunderdome. It was built for the Lightning first.
It was,
yeah. Wow. And then when the Rays got approved in '98, the Lightning got the St. Pete Times Forum, and they were like, "We don't have anywhere to play." I'm like, "Play in the old fucking hockey arena."
Yeah,
and that's why like fly balls get stuck in the ceiling. Like in Toronto or like another domed arena in Arizona, that doesn't happen because it's built for baseball.
Right,
this is a fucking Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah.
That's why. The worst stadium I've ever been in was MetLife, and I'd want to if it burnt down, I would throw embers on it to make it burn more.
The one thing that's impressive about MetLife, the only one thing is how
that still exists.
No, how they can convert it from Jets to Giants. Like I've seen them do it,
moving blue to green.
It's pretty cool. Like if you watch them change it over, it's kind of like what do they call that? Sensory, the ASMR or whatever it is. It's kind of like you're like, oh, that's pretty cool.
They just pick all the players and the rip ACLs.
So wait, you've seen them do it?
Yeah, I was in the building when it was happening.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
So generally, they have. I mean, has there ever been a scenario where one team plays on Sunday and one on Monday night or anything like that? Like they got it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's just like the Wells Fargo Center when they switch over from hockey to basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I've stayed there all day, and I did like when I first started reporting, I just got my Flyers credentials, and I was still doing Wings coverage, and I was there for a Wings game during the day on Saturday, and stayed, did the post game, wrote an article, and stayed the next hour, watched them flip over to the rink.
Huh.
Jets and Giants have played at 1 o'clock and 8 o'clock on the same day a couple times too, like recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they really just had to change the jersey logos and whatnot. It's
all digital. It's all digital.
It's actually the same way that the link has to change from Temple games to Eagles games because you can't have NFL stuff out there because it looks as like trying to promote like your pro team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like that's why like Yankee Stadium is like kind of boring. That's why the link, no offense, is like a little not very Eagle centric. It's because there's so many colleges there, and you can't look like you're recruiting.
But they do it very digital. I mean, if you went to the Kelly Green games, where they were doing their retro stuff, the way they changed everything over is pretty cool. Like it makes it look like it was never meant to be midnight green at that point. Like so, it's kind of like that. But just because I guess the blue to the green, it's a little different. When you go from one green to another, it's slightly different. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking immediately of the turf. Like,
the only thing you would have to, they don't paint on the Jet logo or the Giant logo. when they play close together. If you ever watch it, I think they use like the NFL logo or something. It's like the generic.
Still pay the end zones though, but that can be
Yeah.
done in half an hour.
Yeah, you got to see them do that. That's pretty cool.
The Wells Fargo also has to cover all their Sixers and Flyer stuff when like Villanova plays there.
Right.
Or if we host like a NIT tournament or some shit. But anyway,
Yeah.
we have gone off
Yeah,
topic
completely
again.
off the rails
Shocking.
as usual.
Rob, so you used to work for the Phillies. You were on the chair at Visit Delco. Then they brought you in as an employee, full fledged.
Yeah, we were like I mentioned, the 2026 stuff. So just trying to make sure we have as robust a marketing kind of game plan as we can have here in the short term and the long term. So I was my background is in marketing, so just kind of all came together and started last July. So our fiscal year runs July to June. So I started in conjunction with the launch of our 2024 fiscal year last summer.
Okay, and 2026, like you said, we're getting a majors golf tournament here. We're getting the All-Star game. We're getting all the it's not even bicentennial, the 250 year thing for Philadelphia. Do you think, besides immediate hospitality, semi-quintennial, besides the obvious thing of like hospitality of hotels and all that, do you think Delco will have a big footprint, economic footprint, tourism footprint because of these events?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. So the fact that the PGA Championship is right here, right? So that's huge. And then the other stuff, as we were talking about before we kind of went live, with all those hotels by the airport, 9 of those hotels are in our footprint.
Oh yeah.
So so those, that's, I think folks who are visiting the region will see those as hotels that are super convenient. There's plenty of other stuff, that's out here in Delco that's also super convenient into Philly. So, I think, and then we have our own heritage story, our own 250 years of, America story here in Delaware County. So I think people will kind of understand all that. We're going to do our best to make sure they do understand all that. And then, they'll understand that they can come to Delaware County, they can kind of set up shop, and then they can go do everything around here, right? They can even go out to Valley Forge pretty easily too, if they want to, or even over to Bucks County if they want to. So we're gonna be telling that story, that Delaware County can be a great hub for visiting the entire region, the city, the suburbs, etc.
So devil's advocate,
Mhm.
just being a negative Nancy here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think back to I think it was 14 and 2015, when we had a major golf outing at Marion Country Club or Marion Golf Club,
right?
And also in 2015 when we had the Pope here,
right?
I personally, as a Delconian, do not think that Delco really truly benefited that much from those events. I remember SEPTA dug up all the trolley lines, thinking that people were going to use them as mass transit, and they themselves put out the next year, they're like, this was a bust on our end. Like, not a lot of people utilized Delco. And I remember the Marion thing, it was obviously in the end of Haverford, Marion area, all that.
Right.
They were saying that whole area was shut down, and a lot of things were just being bussed from Chester, so people would go from Philly to just get picked up in Chester and bust in there.
Sure.
Do you think that those were successes with Delaware County, and is there any way that these major events upcoming will be able to have a bigger footprint than those did?
Good question. No, I honestly, I don't know the full story around those events, other than to know that they were singular events.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this will be a series of events, one after another, timed pretty well. And I think that piece of it will give us some critical mass that we can kind of tap into. The 250th stuff is everyone. It's easy to talk about. You have an All-Star game, you have a FIFA World Cup, you have a PGA Championship, but the 250th stuff, 250th anniversary stuff, there's some really cool stories there. And I think if we can kind of blend these things together as best we can, we can take better advantage of it than maybe we've had in the past of some of these one-off-ish events.
So speaking of one-off events and all that coming to Philadelphia, have you seen Visit Delco anything in 2 weeks? WrestleMania is here, and worldwide that is probably a bigger draw than actually the MLB All-Star game. That's more domestic.
Right. Absolutely.
Has Visit Delco seen any of their hospitality partners see an influx in booking and reservations, anything like that, coming for the April 6th through 8th weekend?
It's a good question. We actually uh, we will be doing a survey of our properties like that subsequent week, just to see what kind of activity they. So we've communicated to them, hey, let us know, or make sure you're paying attention to any stays you might be getting that you can, if you can know, if you can either ask folks or however you want to do it to determine what kind of an impact WrestleMania has had. Because one indicator we have from within the past 9 months or 10 months was there was two indicators actually. There was Springsteen last August
That got canceled.
that got canceled, and there was Billy Joel
Yes.
last summer as well. And so one of our hoteliers, hotel partners, tells a story about how for the Billy Joel show, it was a Saturday morning after the show. She was in her property and she saw folks having breakfast who were 60-something-year-old folks who generally aren't there on a Saturday. And she said something to them, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're from Lancaster. We were in town last night for the Billy Joel show. We decided to stay here. We usually stay in the city, but we didn't want to stay in the city, so we're staying here."
Gotcha.
Billy, or a few months later, or yeah, 2 months later, I guess it was, Springsteen got canceled. One of our properties told us about how she got phone calls, so say at 4 o'clock when the show was, word was out, it was canceled.
Yeah.
Folks were coming in from like Lancaster who were going to stay there and go to the show. And so they called and said, "Hey, my show got canceled. Can I cancel my room?" Obviously, policy generally isn't you can cancel at 4 o'clock for that night, but she understood. She let them cancel the room. But she had about a half a dozen people in her property who kind of checked that box. So we were seeing indicators there that folks were using Delaware County hotels and then going into the city for big events. So now we're just to your point about WrestleMania and the scale of WrestleMania. We're going to be paying attention to that as well and seeing what kind of an indicator that might be for things as we move forward, and then make sure our strategies are in line with that so that we can really capitalize on that.
When it comes to the strategies, is there like, let's say WrestleMania doesn't really impact Delaware County as much, that would be a good litmus test to like, see where it currently stands for 2026. Is there actual like a contingency plan of strategies to be like, how can we get Delco more involved
in the 2026
in the
events?
future ones?
Yeah. So yeah, I think what's amazing about some of these marketing tools that are out there in terms of like using digital channels and things like that, about how granular you can get, and so we can, for example, we could isolate folks who are exploring coming to the region, who are also soccer fans, who indicate that they'd like to spend the night. You can kind of put all this data together, and then you can reach out directly to that group of
make
people.
an algorithm and all that.
Exactly.
Is there a way to do that through like like StubHub or whatnot, where you trace like area codes of like credit cards that buy tickets and whatnot?
Yeah, whether it's through StubHub, but you can just do it through things more broad social media channels like the Meta channels.
Okay.
Some other things where you can just be, what these algorithms do is aggregate the activity of these people. It's kind of creepy actually, but
it is. It's insanely creepy.
But
Well, I mean, if you think about a lot of, there's a lot of items out there that people use every day. A lot of apps that's pretty much all it's for. If anybody's ever used one of those like receipt apps where you take pictures of your receipt and then it gives you like points for it, and then you get gift cards for it.
Right.
I think Rakuten was one of them, and they had a couple other ones. Like that's all it's for, is to aggregate that information of what you're buying.
Sure.
Who's buying what, where do they located at, where what kind of stuff are they buying most? It is creepy, but the funny thing is most of the time the people are not knowingly but not unknowingly giving that away. Like they're handing that information out. And real quick, before we go further, because I want to talk more about this, if you are visiting Delco, you need a nice snack. Start with Fat Cow Jerky. That's right, Fat Cow Jerky, utterly perfect jerky. Jalapeno garlic, honey habanero, teriyaki, pickles, one of my favorites. They even have flavors for your four-legged friends out there. FatCowJerky.com, or go to Instagram, Facebook, you name it, FatCowJerky.com. One of those great Delco establishments. Go check out Pan PJ. That's right, Pan PJ.
Not too far from Subaru Park, not too far from the stadiums. Whether it's WrestleMania, the Sesquicentennial, whatever 250 is.
Right. Yeah, you can have an amazing. You can go. Listen, think about it. You can get off a plane if you're traveling into Philadelphia. get off the plane. 5 minutes later, be at Dolan's, have a great drink, great food, great time, and then go to whatever destination in the city that you want
There
to.
you go.
It's right there, 24 East Sellers Avenue. Really
You
park
hop on
the
95, jump
109
on that 476, you can get to Aronimink in 18 minutes,
There you
dude.
go.
And they have an amazing menu. You have to check it out. They've made some great upgrades there in the kitchen. We're going to have all that information for you coming shortly. But guys, go to dolansbar.com. And listen, listen, with all these people coming around, traffic's going to become a bear, right? Things happen. Car accidents happen.
Soccer fights, hooligan fights, dude.
Yeah. So if you get hurt at work,
If you get put through a table at WrestleMania,
sure. If you're working, getting put through a table, that is work injury right there. Workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law. David R. Cherry is the man with the plan. He is there to help you out. CherryInjuryLaw.com or call Dave directly at 610-565-0300. Again, CherryInjuryLaw.com. Motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law, workers' comp, all those things. Life-altering moments. And if you need a guy who's going to fight for your rights, David R. Cherry is a man at 610-565-0300.
he's actually in a WrestleMania match fighting injustice.
Right. Every
Wow.
day.
Yeah.
Every
That's a
day.
valiant guy right there.
Yeah, it
That's,
is.
that's-
So what, like, visit Delco, like when you get to pick up the algorithms and all that, is it how would Visit Delco try to get, the name of Visit Delco and the incentives of using their partners into the bigger outer markets that we want to get here? I know that, like, you can come on Delco Live, promote and all that stuff, and it goes out to Delco, but
Sure.
how do you reach out to, people coming here from Istanbul, people coming here
Yep.
from Canada?
No, that's
They're large people. Population of Istanbul people coming.
Dude, they
in.
love soccer in Istanbul,
No,
dude.
true.
it's true. No, and those are important. I'm not going to say Istanbul specifically is an important market for us, but folks from outside the region, because we're funded by a tax on hotel stays. So there's 40 hotels in Delaware County, and you pay.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know the Raven.
Yeah, well,
I
that's-
know
The Drexel Brook.
the one next
Holiday
to
Inn,
the one
that's
next
about
to,
it.
the one next to Best Buy, the one across from the one next to Best Buy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
The
among
ones
the
in
40.
Essington.
They're among the 40. So
40.
when someone spends the night, there's a tax collected. The tax goes to the county, and it ultimately comes to us. So our role in all that, primarily is to keep feeding that sort of overnight stay traffic. So yeah, so we want folks who are going to be from far enough away to want to spend the night when they come to Delaware County. We want them to come to Delaware County. So so part of that sort of algorithm and the part of that analysis is geographic, and you can get you can you can get soccer fans in Istanbul who intend to come to Philadelphia. Like, you can get that.
How do you
crazy.
let the people, like, what marketing strategies do you guys use to, like, say, who doesn't even know the word Delco exists, right?
Mhm.
Maybe you saw the mayor of Easttown and you've heard of this Delaware County area, but other than that, you don't even know Delco exists. Like, how do you get it out so they're not going to Reading, or they're not going, somewhere about an hour away versus Delaware County that's minutes from certain parts of the city? And
Sure.
yeah,
no, that's Delco. It's interesting you say that, because Delco means a lot to everybody around here, but it doesn't necessarily mean much to others, who are not around here. Right?
Yet.
Exactly. So, but in terms of, if you say to somebody, you should stay in Delco, they won't know what that means.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna talk specifically about our assets, about our hotels, about our attractions, as opposed to about Delco, right? Because no one's got a map where they go, oh yeah, right there.
So you're taking the high road and, like,
So-
showing the good things.
There's plenty of good things. But no, I think we will promote, places to spend time, things to do, hotels to stay at, and then ideally, one of the functions that we serve, in our role here is to help add value to our hotel partners' propositions. So if a hotel partner has a rate that's a competitive rate, maybe we can also add, maybe you get a water bottle when you stay, right? Water bottle, I should say. So, it's just something like
The
that.
high road and freebies. I like
we can,
this.
we can,
Much better than
we
my
can
plan.
buy your love.
we can, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
So yeah, it's our, our job is to figure out how to get them to book the hotel and to book our hotels. And again, no one said, like, the hotels out in Glen Mills, for example, if someone's coming to Longwood Gardens, they might stay at one of those Glen Mills hotels. Well, Longwood Gardens is in Chester County. So so we're going to get the hotel stay. We don't care that they didn't necessarily
Damn straight.
hang in Delco, right?
You can go sniff your flowers in Chester County, but you're
Yeah.
gonna stay right here.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question / proposition. Can you guys? No, it's actually kind of remotely smart in my own mind.
Okay.
Can you guys get in cahoots with like kayak and orbits and all that stuff?
We can. Yes.
Okay, so
yeah.
so I asked that because I spent 7 years delivering pizzas in this area, right?
Okay.
And every time we would go to the hotels in Springfield or in Essington, right? I would always like kind of wonder like there'd be like family like when someone just got kicked out of the house and they're staying there, or they're like a laborer coming up after a hurricane to fix stuff. But you would also see like it's the middle of the summer. I'm pretty sure this family's on vacation. I would always ask them and be like, so what brings you to Springfield, Delaware County in August? And the common response was, we came to Philadelphia, to see the Liberty Bell and the Betsy Ross House and all that, and we went on orbits or kayak or any of that stuff. And this is technically like 4 miles from Philly.
I mean, it's only 4 or 5 miles.
So it would show up, and then they'd be like, how do I get to Liberty Bell? I'm like, well, you rent a fucking car and you drive, man. It's not necessarily that close, but that's how at least we got people in here. And I think if something like that was utilized correctly, it would be a good way to use it.
Well, that is one of the assets that we offer is proximity. Certainly in comparison to our other suburban counties.
So can you trick people into it?
Well, we're not going to trick them. We're going to make them understand the value of why
that's
they
how
want to
Holbrook
be
gets
here.
those dates.
Like
Trick these people.
Like you've gone up to New York a lot, right?
I have.
So every time like I go to like Yankee Stadium or whatever, and I'm
Mhm.
staying, that's in the Bronx, and one of the things is stay in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Okay.
Clifton, New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's not New York, so it's not New York prices, but it's right there. And you'd be like, damn, not even the same state, but you're saving half the money.
I've done that where I've stayed in Hoboken and gone into the city. Yeah. It's so yeah, people aren't unfamiliar with something like that. It's just a matter of, especially for us, when you talk about the sporting events in South Philly, right? Like that's super easy to be in Delco and then head in for an event and then head back to Delco, right? That's easy to do.
You're 100% correct. I mean, you know how many people I've known who from like friends or family who's from out of town come stay with me or something, then I'm like, oh, let's go catch a Phillies game. Let's go to an Eagles game. And they're just amazed by how quickly and easily how close we are to the stadium, but we're not even in the city, and it's like you go through a veil and boom, we're in the city. You know what I mean? Like I think people don't get that how what we have here is very special compared to like other places. Go to we talked about it. Go to Meadowlands. Go ahead.
Right.
2 hours outside of New York and just a butthole in general. It's a butthole.
Not even just that. Not even just that fact. In all seriousness, think of it this way. It can take you from here to there about 2 hours to get to.
It takes us the same time to get there than New York takes to get there.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you get into the Meadowlands, like it goes from 8 lanes to 2 lanes.
Oh, don't start me on that.
It's
I
like
just
a
can't
funnel.
bear from that.
And it took me, like he said, almost as long to drive from that funnel that it did from home to the funnel.
Yeah.
Like it is, and this is not just us. I've been to Kansas City, and that's you have to drive through a lot of farmland to get out there. Everything is what we have here is very different. Even I was talking to this young girl who's a student over at I believe University of Penn the other day, and she's her boyfriend also University of Penn guy lives in Delco, and I was asking her, like where do you go for this? And she goes, is it Springfield or Ridley? I'm like, I don't know. You drive 5 feet down the road and go through 5 different towns. He's like, I've never seen anything like that. People just don't, I think, understand totally how different this area is, but in a good way. In a good way.
No, I agree. I have a buddy who lives in Colts Neck, New Jersey.
I've been there.
Yeah. So he would rather come to Philly for a show, a concert or something. He's a New Yorker by mentality. But
that's where Bruce Springsteen lives right now, by the way.
That's right. Yeah. So yes,
but it's horse farm.
He'd rather drive
the everyman
an hour and a half here versus whatever distance he would cover to get to New York City. It's still going to take him at least an hour and a half, even though it's less distance. Right?
And it probably costs a lot more. I mean, tickets I'm sure are much more expensive. Parking, food, everything is much more expensive there.
Yeah.
Is there a way you guys can get like the geographic concept out to the masses and be like, yo, if you're coming here, we're literally 2 exits on 95 from the stadiums.
Yes, and
it is Ridley Park, then it's the airport that you're going to be dropped off in, and then
Exactly.
Then you get off Patterson Ave.
yeah, it's
You know,
two.
Right. No,
it's
it's
two
true.
and one's the airport.
And there is one of the things that we part of our next sort of set of efforts is in trying to help with garner some more of that business traveler.
Yeah.
Is we've learned from a few of our hotels that there are people who use the Delaware County hotels, business people who are doing business in the region. They might have a meeting in the city, a meeting in Delco, a meeting in Plymouth, a meeting somewhere else, and then they got to fly back. They use Delaware County as their hub, and they stay at a hotel here. They can drive from the airport in a rental car to the hotel, park for free at the hotel without any hassles, no traffic hassles, and then they can kind of use that as their spot where they get up in the morning, go to their meetings, come back to, and it's cheaper than being in the city.
Oh yeah,
and it's more convenient, and so that's something that we're gonna tap into.
That's a pretty sweet idea. Like businesses always trying to look to cut costs, and best way of doing it. You don't have to. You're not sending somebody into some area where that's not safe because it's cheaper. You're sending them in an area it's
exactly
geographically just as close in some ways, but quicker to get to.
So besides like the X amount of places that are really accessible with public transportation that get you down to stadiums and all that stuff, is there like a way that Visit Delco can maybe team up with Uber and Lyft and like give a discount to people who come and stay in Glen Mills, in Ridley, in Tinicum, in Upper Darby, and get a discount for purchasing through there to get them to the events?
There is, yep,
Okay.
and there's ways where we could, for example, we can advance purchase, loaded Uber cards, for example, and we could say, a $25 Uber card or a $50 Uber card, and we could have that so when you book the hotel, you get one. Right, so we provide that to the hotel, for example.
God, get that to the Istanbul market, dude.
What's that?
Get that to the Istanbul market, man. For 2026,
the untapped Istanbul market.
Nova Scotia, get it to them, dude. They're coming down.
What language does it need to be in to be relevant?
I believe
Istanbulese.
Yeah, Bolognese.
It's Turkish.
Are they okay?
They speak
Right.
Turkish.
Yeah. So, it's Turkey, right?
Yeah. And it's changed its names about 10 times in the last 100 years, so it may not be called that in 2026. But yeah, they speak Turkish and I'm sure Arabic and English.
Well, it was funny because and speaking completely honestly, when we first teamed up with you guys last year, this is right. I guess you were just starting.
I just started,
literally starting when we were doing Delco Day, and we teamed up with you guys. You guys donated Delco Day once again. Part of the Delco Day scene. We
absolutely,
of course,
great event.
You
going to come out this year for it?
I'm going to be there.
So you, as a Pennsauken native, we actually swear in non-native Delconians.
Okay, cool.
And you get a little custom-made flag. We'll make a nice one for you.
Yeah.
I'm in.
If you bring anybody, you just tell us ahead of time. We have a little swearing in moment. We'll have flags ready for it. So like, if your family member.
Yeah.
Now
my kids are Delco kids, though.
They're Delco kids.
The anchor babies.
The anchor babies.
I was a Delco anchor baby. I'm a Delco dreamer myself.
Is the wifey? Is she Delco?
She's from the Lehigh Valley area.
Oh.
So we could swear in together.
Oh, yes, how adorable!
Yeah.
Right.
Renewing your Delco vows.
You can renew your vows. We did that at Delco Day 4. I am a minister
for Aunt Mary Pat.
That's that sadly really happened.
It still counts. But when we first met up with you guys, like I remember I said, "Oh well, Visit Delco is joining on as a Delco Day sponsor to make this awesome event happen." And in the beginning, and I really didn't have an answer until I talked to you guys about it. They're like, "Who comes here for a vacation?" Like, I think they only thought in their head like it's an area where you're just going to come hang out. Like, not you guys are pretty much saying you can still take in all the fun of Philadelphia, the fun of I guess if you want to go out to like Valley Forge and check out those kind of things. But you can stay in Delco and there's a lot of nightlife and food in Delco as well. But it became kind of a running joke with us for a little. That's all I was dealing with.
Yeah.
And I think this is pretty cool that you're putting it out there. Like,
no,
hey guys, there's more to the story than just
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's everyone says that to me. But why wouldn't anyone visit Delco? And it's like, well, no, there's a million reasons.
We don't want to leave, but nobody wants to visit.
Exactly. But no, and fundamentally, asset wise, like what, our trail network is pretty friggin' amazing. If you're someone who likes to go hiking or ride a bike or walk a dog, or,
no, I don't.
I don't know if you look at us very much, Rob. These are guys that like.
All right. Well, I'm trying to speak to your audience.
Had to be a WrestleMania inferior. You lost me in physical activity.
But no, I think that's one thing that we feel good about is that that we can. There are folks who will come here and visit us for those reasons. At the same time, we know we don't have the hang your hat kind of attraction. We don't have the Valley Forge Park or the Longwood Gardens or the New Hope, but that doesn't mean we can't have a story.
So
right?
we
And
should take Longwood Gardens by force, is what you're saying.
I mean,
that's not a bad idea.
We can
Delaware
reclaim
County
it.
was Chester County.
We can
that
reclaim
succeeded.
it.
We could just reclaim it.
hmm
It's like
I
a
mean,
Crimea situation with the
mhm.
Ukraine. Yeah, let's just go take it, man.
We can take it back.
Or maybe we could open Longer Wood Garden.
Oh,
Oh,
big
yeah,
fucking
right,
fan.
right, yeah.
Big fan. Number
Right.
one, the phrase longer wood, great.
Yeah.
Number two, spite.
I
Big
just want to
fan.
make the t-shirts. Can I just make the I'll just take care of designing the t-shirts. I'm not doing that.
Longwood Gardens.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but like, can we like what would this is a weird question. But what in your guys' eye, what would be a cool attraction you could add, like legitimately add in Delco? Like we could
The world's biggest ball of yarn.
yeah, like something like that, but like a giant indoor water park, or something like that. What could be a cool thing that could happen in Delco
Well,
like that?
I will say, I think we're going to talk about the movie tax credit.
Damn straight.
Yeah. So that facility, Sun Center Studios
Mhm.
in Aston, I guess it's actually Chester Township.
It's just, yeah, it says it on the wall. I don't know.
Is
turn the corners in there.
there's been some really cool Mayor of Easttown. A lot of that was filmed there. Movie Creed. A lot of that was filmed there.
After Earth.
After Earth. Yeah,
That was the first big one,
Was
right?
Silver Linings
Um,
Nah,
filmed
that
there?
was,
It was just filmed.
that was
I
on
know it-
location out here.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
that
know it
was-
was a lot in Ridley because the building I used to work in, the doctor's office I work in was the third floor of the doctor's office from the
It takes place in Ridley Park
Yeah.
in the movie. but
yeah,
also-
it's where
his
it's set. Yeah, right.
his psychiatrist is the Ridley Park Medical Center
Yup,
right
yeah.
there.
it did take place because they brought that up when they talked about the Lanark Diner.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
booth.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're saying Sun Center.
But no, I think what they've actually there's a rendering there that they'll show you when you go over there of they've had some thoughts of what if we put in almost a mini Universal-ish setup, where like it's a movie themed or production themed kind of theme park for lack of a
Ooh,
better
that'd
word.
be cool.
And there's a lot of space there. So, I don't know,
is.
something like that would be really neat. I think, when you think about Delaware County and you think about sort of its fundamental kind of
The Mayor of Easttown
stuff.
Divide.
right,
Yeah.
like it's we're a place where if
Tour
we
reporter.
it became a movie or a TV show kind of place to tour and visit around or themed around that.
Would they
That-
have
that
like
would
a
make sense.
3D digital model of Tina Fey,
There you go.
showing you around? Like that would be like that would
Yeah.
happen.
Right, eating.
You
Pika's
should
pizza.
come over here to get some pikas.
Yeah, exactly.
So one thing I was going to bring up during that meeting, and I'll explain the meeting in a second, was so you know how they were saying we're trying to get an identity here in Delaware County. It's not it's not Philadelphia. They're trying to take opportunities from New York, LA, provide local stuff. One thing I've been seeing recently, so it's spread out in some of the cartoons I watch. It's spread out on the NBA post game coverage. There's a thing where it says filmed in Georgia
Mm.
with the peach, and they brand it. And that shit was filmed or produced in Atlanta, like Georgia. Is there a way they can start doing that with like movies or commercials or whatnot?
Yeah, I would
That-
think there would be. I mean,
like,
that's
filmed in Delco, and it's
you
a
know,
fucking Habersack
Well, I-
Scrapple sign.
Yeah, well, I know they have like on the end credit scenes, like they'll put the production studios and then people who worked in there who worked on the movie. But maybe that's part of the deal that Georgia had because Georgia is one of the top places because they have
They
an
are.
amazing tax credit
correct.
Yes.
for the films.
That's why a lot of upstarts,
Toronto, I know, or a lot of Canada is.
like what actually Joe McGee was bringing up is Atlanta is where a lot of animation went. That's actually
Oh,
where
is that right?
Cartoon Network
I didn't know
got like their
Yeah.
first like real big launch. They started in New York City, then moved to Atlanta because it was cheaper, and that's kind of where I started seeing the Made in Georgia peach. But then I started watching NBA the post game where like Shaq and Charles Barkley yelled at each other.
Yeah.
The end of that has the same thing. They're like Made in Georgia. I guess they're in Atlanta for that shit.
That might be part of the deal too.
Yeah,
that,
if you get the credit, you got to throw it up there.
Yeah,
yeah.
which would be a good idea.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think it's silly not to like. There's so much money to be made in the movie aspect of things, and I think Delaware County has. You can have it where it looks like a city street, in the row homes and
Yeah.
all that stuff. You can have it what looks super rural if you need rural looking area.
You can go to the city. You
Yeah.
can go. You can have a decrepit, burnt down tavern that doesn't have a floor, like in Mayor of Easttown and Trainer.
Yeah.
But Rob, tell us about there was a big meeting on Monday on last Friday morning
Mhm.
at Sun Center talking about the tax credits to try to drive more business and opportunities in here.
Right.
Plus the talk of how do we keep people here afterwards or get their careers to start here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the tax credit piece is interesting because it's a statewide program, and so it's part of the state budget. So right now, every year for the past several years, and I'm not sure exactly how many, but it's been a very long time, according to the Philadelphia Film Office. Um, it's been $100 million a year in tax credits that get kind of put in the budget, and then those go out to production companies to do stuff in the state. So it can be anywhere in Pennsylvania. So it's a statewide program, and in what we learned on Friday was that it's not nearly enough to be competitive with the Georgias and the other states. So they're trying to get it to 300, and it just basically it's going to take some work by legislators and others to kind of say, okay, let's put some more money against this. But it was a compelling argument made by a guy named Gino Pizzi, who was the commissioner of the film office in the state. He has some really great data points, and he made some great arguments about.
And ideas for solutions.
He does,
which is a big
yeah,
thing I
yes.
like in general.
And I think what you learn from it when you speak to these guys is the multiplier that comes with, kind of what you were just saying about, jobs and other things that come with, so it's more than just saying, oh, you know what, it was really cool. Mark Ruffalo was running around Newtown Square 2 weeks ago. Mark Ruffalo had a hoagie a cut above. That's cool.
Going
But
right back to his penthouse in Center City because Eric Bana is obviously the premier Hulk.
whoa, all right.
You better watch yourself now, sir.
Mark Ruffalo hates Delco.
Is that right?
That's what they hinted at. And
Oh,
they say, yeah,
interesting.
the star didn't want to stay in Delco. Like,
Interesting.
Yeah, but you know what?
We're gonna work on
And I was actually going to talk about that when you were talking about people who were staying in Delco because A, it's less expensive, and B, like I understand there's probably some snooty high.
We don't have a Ritz. We don't have a
we
Four
don't have a
Seasons.
and then there's
right?
people
Yeah.
who won't stay at anything but. So
we have a Raven Motel.
yeah,
We have some cool properties, though.
we do, and it would be pretty cool to get. I don't know if you get a Ritz, but kind of like the Drexel Brook's a beautiful place. I mean, we talk about it all the time. The Holiday. I know it's people hear Holiday Inn, they maybe not think right away. Like it's a really nice hotel. Like
so, there's going to be a boutique hotel going in Newtown Square in the Ellis Preserve area over there.
Yeah, I know exactly.
They're my client.
And then is that right?
Yes.
And then there's going to be a new one going in at the Wawa over by the Wawa train station.
Okay.
They're not my client.
They're the same folks who have the Marriott and the Fairmont here, and I'm sorry, the one in Broomall. Sorry,
Okay.
Fairfield Inn and the Marriott in Springfield. So they're putting one at the Wawa train station. So there's some other properties coming online. I think it would be amazing to have one of these premier brands, but at the same time, we have what's cool. We have a place like the Inn at Grace Winery. Is a really neat property that's very unique to Delaware County in the sense that it's tucked away in a really cool sort of rural part of the county, and I think it sleeps 20 some people there, and so it's sort of it's a high end lodging experience without it being a big city hotel of some kind. So
very quaint.
It's so that's I think our version. I think we want to try to have our own version of the luxury experience as opposed to trying to have
which I think is an amazing. And if kudos
so
to you
no
guys
respect for the Summit Inn.
I think kudos to you guys for being able to do that because I think that's kind of like a lost mentality of number one, if you want to stay close to the city but not have to deal with it. Listen, there's a lot of not trying to be whatever, but there's a lot of bad stuff you got to deal with the city just as much as anywhere else. But traffic, getting around, it can be overwhelming. A lot of people
totally
anxiety, or you're not used to that big city feeling.
Yeah, if you're a tourist, it's intimidating for sure.
So you go spend the afternoon down at Terminal Market and Reading Market or whatever. Whereas the people I love seeing on Instagram, Reading Market. But you could go spend an afternoon down there. You can go do things like that. I mean, me and my wife, with her birthday, we went down there and got, for an afternoon. I had enough. I was good to go. I needed to get back. I needed to get out of there. After the seventh guy tried to pee on my shoes, I was good to go.
Can I double
Right.
down on what you're getting at too?
Yeah.
So I used to work in Center City, like the heart of Center City, 16th and Chestnut for a
Okay.
while, right? And I'm a pretty outgoing person and meet people and run into them in the bars and the restaurants and all that stuff. And always think back to the 2017 NFL draft when it was here,
Oh yeah,
right?
sure.
Mhm.
I ran into a lot of football fans, and man, I look like an everyman. I'm not in a suit and tie and all that shit. I'm this Sasquatch looking motherfucker. So a lot of people came up to me thinking you're a football guy, and I was. And they would always ask me for things to do. And like after like the third day of it, I mean, I'm gonna just insult Philadelphia right now. Philadelphia can host cool events, but Philadelphia's not that fucking cool after a while because they're like, "What can I do?" I'm like, they're like, "Do you want to see Liberty Bell?" I'm like, it's not even a real thing. Like, you can go see it.
And you can
But
see it like, "Oh, saw it," and walk away.
but I saw these guys who like wanted to come out and party, and they think like Philly's going to be like a Chicago and LA, where like there's a streaming nightlife. I'm like, nah, dude. There's pockets of like Center City is the business people. That shit closes at 8.
South Street,
Northern Liberties
yeah.
and South Street's kind of just lost its identity. Like Northern Liberties is where you can go run into some people, but there's not gonna be like a super fun party. I was like, you probably have more fun in the suburbs like Delco, where you're gonna run into every like real football fans that want to deal with that shit, like that want to talk to you, that want to do this stuff. I've always been a big proponent of trying to get them to go check the suburbs.
Hmm.
It's something I actually like to do when I go to the cities too. Like I like went to Detroit recently, went to Chicago. Yeah, I'll go eat your Illuminati's pizza and all that stuff. But the best pizza I found was in the suburbs,
Yeah.
outside of Cook County and all that, or Kane County. That's Cook County.
A lot of places I've gone to that the really cool places that I enjoyed the most, or the really unique foods or something, were not in the city proper.
Yeah, 100%.
And speaking of Baltimore, who's now dealing with that whole bridge thing, but I used to go down there all the time. And one thing Baltimore is kind of known for is their brunches, like on Sundays.
Oh, really?
Everybody
Huh.
throws a brunch. And I've been to some pretty cool and unique ones in the city. But the best place I've ever been to is called Mama's or Mama something or whatever. It's like a woman's name, and it was the most unique food I ever had. It was the best food. It was literally in the suburbs, 5 minutes outside the city,
Wow.
like, and it was just in the middle of a place, just like Ridley Park or like
Mhm.
it's unassuming area. And I think that you guys are taking that on. That's
Yeah, and to defend Philly a little bit, they're pretty good about when they market the city. The Visit Philly organization is pretty good about you know explaining to people that there are some things to do outside the city too. That you can
Good.
go out to Delaware
Good.
County and you can go out to Chester County. You can
I
go
was
out
gonna
to,
say you guys
you
ever
know,
like not partner up, but just like
we do. Yeah, no,
help
we
each other out. I
yeah
guess
we do, and I think we see that there's value to a regional brand. We don't necessarily have a name for it, but I think we see that there's value to joining forces and bringing people together to see the region and spend time in the region and you know if we get if someone stays in Philadelphia but comes out here for a dinner or something, that's good for us too. We'll take
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? So yeah, so we want to all play nice in the sandbox, and I think there's lots of value to that for
And I
sure.
think there's
Except for
enough
Chester County, we're going to take over along with
Well, yeah,
Garland
that's
and all
true.
that,
We
yeah.
are. Yeah. Well,
And
we're very grateful
rename
for
it
Chester County
and rename it longer wood gardens. But like, I mean, I think that's because that's a win-win, right? Like, how do you lose
Right.
on that?
Well, even like something like the Brandywine Battlefield, part of it's in Delaware County and part of it's in Chester County.
Not for
So
long.
So you got so you got
Fucking taking it.
I'm
So,
getting my
you know,
jacket on, I'm ready to go.
It's going to say
Well-
Battle of Brandywine. Which one? 1886 or 1786 or 2024?
that's funny. So we, when we when we want to promote that, we want to promote it in conjunction with them, So
Well,
yeah.
again, I think is if a lot of people who like, all right, if I'm going to go to Philly, it's going to cost me this much to stay in the city. It's going to cost me this much to eat in the city every night and all this stuff. Maybe I don't want to go to Philadelphia for that kind of money. But if I can stay in a nice place in Delco or the surrounding areas and even enjoy a night out in that area, plus still get all the tourist attractions like we were talking Liberty Bell, Betsy Ross House, the Philadelphia Historical, all that stuff. It helps. It makes sense not.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense not to. Now you're going to have more people coming to the area who wouldn't have done it based on just Philadelphia alone.
Right. And if you're coming in 2026 and you're a history buff, you and you're going to spend some time in Philadelphia, and there's a lot of fun, cool stuff to see there. But come out here too, and there's even you go down into Chester, where William Penn actually landed in Chester, and then
The original Penn's Lane.
yeah,
Started the shit.
Yeah.
And then
We'll
there's
end it.
a million other things that are sort of historical from that era in Delaware County. You know,
We have
and
the
you can,
first fire department.
there you go.
First library, right?
We have the first library.
True. Blackbeard used to.
Blackbeard used
Hang
to.
out.
That's a cool thing. That whole pirate
Yup.
deal down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He
neat.
used to get his swashbuckle on in Marcus Hook.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably
Um,
still does.
These people. So one thing I really learned from the meeting Friday at Sun Center is Visit Delco and them is it's not just about getting people here to be like, oh look, a street, oh look, a house. It's the economic impact that Delconians get from this. Obviously, like tourism bureaus aren't about to just gloat about what we have. It's about making money off it. And one of the things that Sun Center and I assume Visit Delco is also a big proponent of is that is the straight up economic footprint of getting people here. A movie being filmed here is not just the location. There's catering, there's security,
Yep.
there's hospitality, there's housing, there's unions that are involved, and they really presented well the numbers of just how much it brings to an average Delconian. It's movies require costumes. It could go to boutiques around here where they need to go buy things. Screen printing, like any of the screen printers we worked with, Sneak Peek, any of that stuff. The benefit it brings to it.
They told a great story that what was it not coming to what's it called?
Made in America.
Made in America
Yeah.
tour. We had a show a couple weeks back where we had Sneak Peek, who's also part of the Delco Day crew, and they're creating the T-shirts for us. They got called by Made in America like the day before about making, was it headbands
like
or
5,000 headbands?
Yeah, like
for
something
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z or
Wow.
something like that. Like
Yeah.
so they're I think Delco just should help themselves in some ways and not understand what it could be for, like you said, economically, the growth of Delco. And for us who have lived in this county, a lot of us people who lived in the county only know that small 10 to 12% of the county. You know what I mean? I grew up in Clifton. I know Upper Darby. I know Springfield a little bit. Sometimes I get a little crazy and head out to media. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
So I love it. Like, and we head out. We make the joke about Delaware County. There's Delco and Delaware County. But I've been out to Delaware County.
I'm from Chad's Ford.
Yeah, I've been out to Chad's Ford, and there's some really cool restaurants and stuff out there.
Yeah, it's great.
And I'm like,
Right.
man, it's in my backyard the whole time, and I didn't even know it. So
I'm from Bethel.
Well, don't forget Radnor's in Delaware County.
Yeah,
is it all? Is Radnor all Delco?
Yeah, as much as we don't want it to be sometimes.
I mean,
so the Radnor Hotel is considered one of those 40,
it
right?
is
Oh,
correct.
right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we love the Radnor Hotel. We just always the main line. We always just try to.
No, it's
we're the lumberjacks down there.
Well, isn't there? So let me ask you a question. Then I know there's Visit Delco and not Visit Philly. Is it
Visit Philly is one. Yeah.
No, there's Visit Media. I've seen.
Well, there's a media business authority. For the businesses. There is a media.
Now is that you guys or are you
No,
just something
that's
you work
not
with together?
They went rogue.
Right. No, they just
Well, the
decided to do it
rebels.
themselves.
Are they the ones who tried to push the fair trade town thing or whatever?
Yeah, I guess that's their
I still don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know.
America's first
Coffee
fair trade,
costs
right?
more or some shit
Yeah.
because they made it fair trade. I don't know. Is there a way an average Delconian can help Visit Delco get people here?
Yeah, it's a great question.
Hitting them out of the park today, Al.
Yeah, I know you're on your game, bro. Somebody did
he's
this
a
over.
hospitality guy. You can tell. He's all about hospitality.
I mean, you look at him, you want to run away scared. But then when you start talking, like, all right, he's a lovable Disney Muppet. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
what was the one that was always chasing after the car? The giant, the hairy Muppet with the big
Snuffleupagus?
No. It was the Muppets. It was like just a monster with a big hair and they were down to the ground. I gotta look him up now.
I feel like it looked like all the
He
monsters
was
from where
always
the wild things
chasing
are.
after the cars. You guys forgot me. They
oh
was up behind.
yeah. He had some. I knew.
Gritty.
I knew.
It's
Right.
gritty.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but
is
no,
there any
but
way we
so-
can help you have make the product of Delco better for you guys? Is there a way we can spread the word or anything?
Well, one thing you mentioned, when you're talking about, coming out to the suburbs and people will hang with you, and I think that's one of the great assets of Delaware County as a community is the people. The people are cool people, and when you
fucking are.
No, I agree. And if you come from somewhere else, and you settle in somewhere for a drink or a meal or whatever, you're probably you're gonna meet a local and you're gonna enjoy that conversation. And it just reminds me of when I was with the Phillies, that we were playing the Padres in the postseason in 23, two,
The one
Two,
that ended
22.
the one that ended with
22.
Bryce
Sorry.
Harper hitting the home run
Yeah,
that
correct.
Sunday at
Right. And
6:10
so,
p.m. and I went nuts and missed a week of work.
so in 22, sorry, yes, and
Billy going down to yellow and brown. That's what's in.
If you guys don't remember, that was like the Padres crew that made when they came out to play the Padres for the first 2 games, and they were on the news rapping. And it was
that was them.
So
It was
cool.
cringeworthy. I always have that on.
I do remember that now.
So
Yeah.
cool. But you were saying,
But I remember there was a San Diego news reporter
pathetic.
who was out in the parking lot, right outside one of the gates, and was just doing their thing, and fans were yelling at him, like whatever.
Good.
And then when the camera was off or whatever, the fans would go up and just shake their hand and say, "Hey, welcome to Philadelphia."
So
And they were, so yeah, and so the next time this person went on TV, the person, the reporter referenced how these people can be the meanest people and the nicest people at the same
Oh
time.
yeah.
And
Maybe your best friend, your worst enemy. It's your choice, pal.
Right.
That's what I always said.
We're grizzly bears. You're either going to win us with Hunter,
Yeah.
or we're going to maul you.
Right.
Yeah. And speaking of that Muppet I was saying, his name was Sweetums
There you go.
and Holbrook.
Oh, shit.
Holbrook. That's what I'm thinking of. Holbrook.
There you go, Holbrook.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah.
Sweetums. You are the real life version of Sweetums.
Oh, that's so true.
Wow, look at that.
That's so
Yeah.
true.
Um,
It's great.
So I think that's I don't know if those folks were necessarily from Delaware County, but I think that's how we are here in this region and in this community, is that we're inclined to we like a little passion, we like a little competitiveness,
100%.
but we're also good people, and we're
unless you're
going to be
Vikings
welcoming,
fan, like you're dead to me. Like
unless you're what?
a Vikings fan.
Well, listen, when people used to go, "Oh, you get upset when they come here." We would not be like super warm and fuzzy to them. You are coming into town as our enemy. You are our
Vikings jersey
competition.
on Rocky.
You're a competition. You're running your mouth as much as we are. Do you think we're going to come up and just hug each other and it's going to be all lovey-dovey? I hate to break it to you. Go out to San Fran. They're nasty out there.
Oh yeah,
Dodgers have like 2 murders a year.
I
in
know,
Orleans,
like
by the way.
people fighting and fall over rails and die. Like it happens.
The Dolphins had 2 murders this NFL season. You didn't hear that much about it.
Wow.
3 if you count the way their season ended.
Oh,
Wow.
The yeah, but that's always. I mean, it's just me. I hate when the show ends up just being me talking about things I like to do. But one of the things I do like is meeting the locals and all that shit. And like one thing that always frustrates me is when I would go out to like Pittsburgh,
Mhm.
and it took me like 3 days before I met someone from Pittsburgh. It was all just transplants
That's funny.
that had gone there for college and picked up a job,
Yeah.
or like were there with me. And you'll have the World Cup where it'd be soccer fans that could mingle about soccer, or fucking WrestleMania, wrestling fans talking about WrestleMania. But like there would be nothing more upsetting than if someone came to Philadelphia and all they were doing was talking to people from like Morristown, New Jersey,
Yeah.
and like rural like Delaware. They're just like, I moved here because Philly's Philly, and I went to Temple, so I have to stay here. Like I want them to meet real fucking people, not just someone who bought a Bryce Harper jersey last week and thinks that they're like fucking William Penn.
Wow.
Yeah, you want them to be real Delconians. Like you want them to like people who are the cloth. The
I have
fabric.
no idea how you promote that.
Yeah.
but-
Well, no, but to your the
This
original.
is hearing a-hole over
Yes.
here.
No, I think the question that prompted it was how can local folks help? And I would
Yes.
just say, just kind of just
Be
be
better.
themselves. No, just be themselves. I mean, honestly, like
Be
there's
75% of yourself.
there's
Yeah, don't be 100% of yourself.
there's plenty of
75.
there's plenty of good things about people who are from Delaware County and who will encounter people who are not from Delaware County. And when they do that, I think organically you see a level of kind of engagement there. And I think we can continue to play that up. And it's just something where we're going to need, that's where we're going to need the help is in 2026 when we got people coming into the area who are not, from here. Can we
We
really
kidnap the person that's sitting
demonstrate
and
that
bring it down
hospitality that we want to say is part of our DNA?
Yeah. You a Dallas fan? I'm not going to punch you in the face.
No, gosh,
No, I don't want to know. It's like, that's how we greet you. You from Dallas? All right, we're all right.
No,
But
if you're a Cowboys fan from Dallas, it makes sense. I'm not that upset.
No,
yeah, actually, no.
exactly.
I've been
Right.
down there and I've met. And they're normal. They're great. Like, it's not a bad problem down there. It is the local. We're not going to get into it. But it is the local
No,
Dallas
absolutely.
fans
Yeah,
who are
I don't get that.
the
It
cockroaches
doesn't
of the community.
never
We
understood
can
that.
put them in a box somewhere. We're good to go. But Rob, number one, guys, check out Visit Delco. And where can anybody find Visit Delco?
So our website is visitdelcopa.com because there's more than one Delaware County in the country, believe it or not.
It's Ohio.
So, for example,
But not for long.
Yeah.
We'll take third Longwood Gardens too. Longest Wood Gardens.
So visit visitdelcopa.com is our website. We've got, what we think is cool about our website is that, a local can use it as a resource for looking for something to do on the weekend, and someone from out of town can use it as a resource for trying to find hotels and different things that it would, not be, ready information for them without it. So,
you as
pretty
a
excited about
current Delconian, what do
Mhm.
you think is the coolest thing you guys promote? Like the coolest place to go, the coolest shop, the coolest whatever. What is the one that you're just like, that's what I'm proud of. That's the one I want to tell people coming from Berlin in 2026 about.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it all kind of, it depends on the like I really love. I'm a live music guy, so I
Me
love
too.
Jamie's House of Music. I think it's a really cool place.
Where?
Jamie's in Lansdowne. Ever been there?
Oh yeah, I grew up literally across the street from there. That just opened though in like the last year or so, right?
I think it's been around a little longer than that.
It was the
Right
one
on
that was,
Lansdowne Avenue.
it's God, I always call it next to the old Blockbuster. It's on Lansdowne and Baltimore Pike. It's a shopping center with the Aldi and all that.
Well, but no, it's if you're coming, it's down Lansdowne Avenue from there. So
On the bridge, like at the bridge, right?
I don't think there's a bridge.
not
there.
think
I got it right here. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. It is. Here's their website: 32 South Lansdowne Ave, Lansdowne, PA.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're at that shopping center, if you come out onto Lansdowne Avenue and you take a right, it's down on the right a little further.
Yep.
So I like cool places like that. That I think you can get a real flavor of Delaware County in a place like that.
I have Lansdowne tattooed on my arm.
Do you?
I do.
All right. Well, there you go.
There's a really great place there called Crisp Chicken.
Okay.
I highly recommend.
There is literally a place called the Pork Roll Project. There's a band playing there one night called the Pork Roll Project.
Fuck. I move out and it becomes the center of live music. My lord.
Well, maybe because your crappy band is.
That's probably true.
But
now we can promote our music.
So like he's out now. We can do live
and then
music and bring pork roll in.
The theater is going to be opening again.
Yeah,
So that's kind of cool.
I have heard that for 37 years.
No, that's legit.
I've donated to it 37 fucking times.
There's a dude who just like walks around with a cup saying "Save the Lansdowne."
No, it's gonna. We have a meeting there tomorrow.
It's like the same lady who was trying to save the clock tower in Back to the Future.
Is there a projected? I mean, I'm not even trying to be cynical or like shit on the product, but it's just as a Lansdownian, we have heard for so many goddamn years that was going to come and save the town and offset the taxes, and it's still a shell.
So I have a meeting there on Thursday.
Ooh.
So I will get you
Yes.
a projected opening date after that meeting.
But
They're very excited. They've booked some bands already, so they're excited about it.
I've been booked at places that didn't pan out. I mean,
no. You've been booked, played at places, then they stopped
It's
panning
true.
out. There's a difference.
Yeah.
do we think like within the next year?
Yes.
They have. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Delco live
Okay.
event from the Lansdowne Theater. I'm loving
Why
it.
not?
I'm
Yeah.
loving
Why
it.
not? Yeah. So I think that there's a gazillion great restaurants and for all different kinds of cuisine and vibes for sure. And then I think things like for families, things like there's a million. That's one of the things that we've kind of been getting our arms around is all the little festivals that go on. And
The farmers market in
it's just a
Lansdowne.
gazillion like all over the county, and like talking about going out to like Chad's Ford, up to Radnor, and everywhere in between, and down into Upper Darby.
For their flea markets every
Yeah, and like their international festival.
You
It's
hit up-
amazing.
You hit up,
Yeah, it's amazing.
Primo C. Kane for the Delco Day event, June 1st.
June
and-
1st.
You can do that.
Guilty
I
plug.
You
will
can
tell
do
you
that,
one thing:
yeah.
you'll have more fun at Delco Day than the Greek Festival. If there's one thing I can guarantee, Al.
And then like a place like Linville Orchards is a year-round fun spot.
It is.
There's always something. In the fall it's amazing, but then there's through the winter with the indoor mini golf and stuff, and then
Wait, they have that?
yeah,
Shit,
oh, yeah.
I haven't been there in a couple years.
Yeah, and then
I just go play. If I go to play golf in the winter, I go to Putt Putt.
Yeah.
They'll let you play through the snow.
They literally scraped the snow off a couple weeks ago. They're great.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're perfect. We love them.
It's a
That's a
little-
neat spot too. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a cool.
It
spot.
really is.
People don't understand. Like it's a Putt Putt. I'm like, no, it's the Putt Putt. And
Yeah.
It makes it awesome.
Yeah.
We have our Delco Masters there every year, which you guys should be part of. You should come out and hang out and grab a couple of the Visit Delco people. You should do it like in August. On a Friday, we do a shotgun style golf tournament at Putt Putt in Clifton Heights.
Interesting.
72 people teamed up on the 36 holes they have, and lowest score wins. 2 out of 5 years, it's gone to a shootout at the end.
Really?
It's been awesome.
It gets real competitive, but it's awesome.
It's so fun, and there's a big after party. It's been a JT Brissy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little event we throw everybody to kind of thank for Delco Day, thank for everything they've done, like just have a good time.
Okay.
And the rule is you have to dress like you're on the Masters or PGA
like
Tour.
Payne Stewart and like
We
had to dress like he went out and bought the Happy Gilmore outfit and the putter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he probably spent hundreds of dollars just on the putter alone.
You can have a caddy that follows you around.
I was going to ask about a caddy. Yeah.
It's encouraged.
I need someone to carry my putter.
You need somebody to carry the drinks around that we don't have there.
Yeah, which we don't.
It sounds like you're not supposed to have drinks there. Yeah,
no, we don't.
Of course not. Right.
No, we don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So besides 2026 and the current Sun Center and all that stuff, what's your guys' next major campaign?
So we target the spring and the fall for sort of windows of time where we try to make some noise, and so we have something coming up in the last week in April. It's going to run through the end of June. That will basically just try to get people to. We'll highlight our assets. We'll highlight the reasons to spend time here, and so we have a cool campaign that we're excited about. I don't want to get too crazy.
Get the rumor mills flowing.
I can just tell you that we are going to talk about many of the things that make Delaware County great. Many of them.
Many. Does it involve a goose?
No geese.
Oh,
no
it's
geese.
not a Wawa. Okay.
No geese.
I was going to say the many things that are many in Delco.
No.
Great.
No.
Wawa's middle. What's your favorite thing to get from Wawa?
So, probably like the Cuban coffee.
Wait, that's a thing. Oh, the coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
I like that. I like that coffee. Other than that, the wraps, I like the wraps a lot.
The pre-made ones.
The pre-made ones. Yeah. So now you can. I guess they're promoting. You can order them, right? Order them to have them made or something.
They're fair wraps. They're a fair price too, like $3.99.
The Wawa wraps.
Yeah,
they are legitimately good.
The pre-made I like a lot. Yeah.
No, but the new
I haven't had this.
The new ones, like if you're trying to eat something semi-healthy and it's not bad, it is a good like the chicken wrap. Actually, pretty good.
All right, cool. Let's check that out.
The snack wraps, it's for $8. You get 2 of them, and they'll suffice.
Yeah.
I will always, as much as I rag on the quality of Wawa food, I gotta tell you, I owe the pepperoni sizzly more. It has saved me more than Jesus ever has.
Loves that pepperoni.
It has saved me more than Jesus has.
Probably will kill him in the long run too, but it has saved him.
It's a welcome to death.
Real quick, I want to remind you guys that this episode was brought to you by Fat Cow Jerky. That's right, Fat Cow Jerky, utterly perfect jerky, jalapeno garlic, honey bourbon, black pepper garlic, so many different flavors. Check them out. FatCowJerky.com.
They'll be at Delco Day, correct?
They'll be at Delco Day. Facebook, Instagram. You're gonna have them. Hey, listen, if you get in trouble, get hurt at work, get in a car accident, personal injury, or just do something stupid, give David Cherry a call. That's right, 610-565-0300. CherryEnergyLaw.com or call me again at 610-565-0300. And also an amazing time that you can be in Philly and come to Delco and have that nightlife we talked about, even day life, morning life. Check it out. Go to DolansBar.com, 24 East Sellers Avenue.
They open early and they do not close early.
Yeah.
Mandatory. They're open to 1:30 no matter what.
Yep. Ridley Park in the 19078. Go to DolansBar.com. Follow them on all their Twitter, social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. There's always something cool going on there. You never know who's going to drop by. Go to DolansBar.com.
Dolan's is when they were filming Mayor of Easttown. Evan Peters actually went there to learn his Delco accent for the show.
Were there.
Bruh.
And that's not even a joke or us plugging it. That's actually a thing.
That happened.
Yeah,
you were
you
there. You were there.
I didn't meet Evan Peters. No.
Oh no, I was there. I stepped by. They locked the door. They let some people hang out, and he was literally talking to people. And every time he'd say something,
is he British? Where's he from?
He's from St. Louis.
Yeah, he's
Wait, which one? Which one?
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet's the.
Well, no, the guy who was the
like the teacher.
Yeah,
it was the husband, wasn't it? Or ex-husband?
The professor.
Professor.
Professor. He's super
the
English.
guy she was dating.
I think he's English in the show too.
Yeah,
I forget.
Well, I don't remember.
It was
Yeah.
a good show. Like,
Yeah.
I'm happy they left it open ended for season 2, which may or may not be filming.
Apparently it's been filming.
Yeah.
They mentioned it
So-
was filming in Drexel. It's not really a quiet secret over here.
But is it season 2 or is it just sort of another Brad Inglesby project?
It's supposed to be Mayor of Easttown,
Is it?
so I guess and it's Kate Winslet,
Yeah,
right?
That's what I heard.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard that.
They
You talking about the Mark Ruffalo thing?
What?
No.
Oh, this is something else.
The season 2 of Mayor of Easttown, the one house they used for the Ridley Scott project that's coming out. I forget the exact name of that shit. They used this one dude's house who was playing at Delco Day. They originally looked at it for Mayor of Easttown season 2. Ridley Scott ended up for his other thing.
Yeah.
So they're both going on right now.
Oh,
3
interesting.
things being filmed in Delco or in post production.
So the thing that had Mark Ruffalo in town was also the same as Brad Inglesby,
Okay.
but I don't know if it was I don't know if there's any connection back to the storyline of Mayor of Easttown. I don't know.
That one's just a
I don't
SWAT
know.
movie or something.
It's,
Right?
Task. Task.
Yeah.
Task. It sounded cool.
Task.
That's where I
some
learned
kind
it
of
was
task
filmed in
force, yeah.
Sharon Hill.
All right, guys. So remember, visit Delco, visit DelcoPA.com, because you don't want to get the wrong visit Delco.
That's it.
Visit DelcoPA.com. Rob, hopefully we're going to have you back on. We're definitely going to be doing a lot with
Let's
you
do
with
it.
Delco Day coming up.
Yeah.
And all the Delco events. You'll be keeping us up to date so we can keep Delco up to date.
I love it.
All the goings on in the county.
You guys make your own chocolate too. I just want to point that out.
Well, Christopher's Chocolate makes that for us.
Spectacular.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah,
it
it's
was
very good.
great. I ate 4
At
on
a
Friday
time.
morning. It
At
was
a
my
time.
breakfast.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us.
Hearty chocolate.
Thank you guys. This was fun.
Thank you for the chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We'll see you guys next time.